Just Bhatia, and today we are going to talk about NLP in my profession. Otherwise, I'm a corporate psychologist. Currently, the work entails doing corporate workshops, therapy sessions, and coaching sessions. On the other side of the world, which is the etheric world, I am a meditator. I am into shamanism and something which you heard a couple of days ago, Akashic record reading. Today's session is yet a different session. I know that you've been exposed to so many talks of all kinds, from the body to the spirit to out of body. Everything has been covered here. And I bring you something which is related and required for us to be here, to live life. That is neuro linguistic programming. To give you a brief, this is something which started way back in 1970s by two gentlemen called Richard Bandler and John Grinder. The entire purpose of forming a different field to what existed was that they realized that everything is taking so much of time to give results. So what is it that we can do in order to get the same results quickly? And that's how NLP came about. Simply speaking, we have two kind of cars available at the moment. The energy version is still being worked out. So the two kind of cars that we have right now is the one which is manually driven and the one which is automatic. If we look at the way we live our lives, which is the way we express ourselves, the way we love, the way we show anger, the way we work, even the way we talk, we are fixed. So it's like our car is in an autopilot mode. It's on automatic gear and it keeps going the way it has been going for so many years. NLP butts in and says, hey, if there is an area of your life that you don't like, you don't have to continue with that. You can go ahead and do something else. So the autopilot mode of living life can be designed to the way you want it. It's something that you can create for yourself. Along with corporates and entrepreneurs, I've also worked with few people of the national cricket team. And you know, those people are absolute experts in what they do, and that's why they are representing our country. But they also faced issues, and those issues can be corrected by psychological interventions fairly quickly. So I call it as a formula of actively living rather than passively just breathing and going through life saying that's how it is and that's what my skills are, that's what my destiny is. There is something in our brain, the nerve cells that we have, neurons. Those nerve cells have a particular characteristic, and that is that they are mirror neurons. Now, what do mirror neurons do? The moment you meet somebody, you may not be very comfortable, he is a stranger, and then you get talking. And when you talk, you realize you have something common, which is probably both of you belong to the same village, both of you play the common game, or you have a favorite star who's common between the two of you. And that's when you instantly connect and become friends. Have you ever wondered how that happens? That happens because your mind, the mirror neurons, say, hey, this person's like me, so he must be good. Let's be friends. Now, this is all going on unconsciously. Therefore, whatever you do matters more than what you say. An analogy that I give when I have to explain something about NLP, so as to what it does, I call it as the number line theory. So like you have a number line if you go back to the basics of math in school. Now the number line on the left of the line is minus, then you come to a zero, and then there is a plus. If you look at NLP, it starts with issues that you want to work on, which belong to the past. You clear that stuff. Because if you do not clear the past, your past will be a part of your future for sure. That's what we see in relationships. We see that with money. We see that with life, with work, everywhere. So if you've had a bad boss at the previous organization, guess what? The next one, different company, different name, but same characteristic. So we have to clear and deal with this past. Then we come to the present, get rooted in the present with techniques in NLP. And we move on to build the future. Today's session is a little different than the ones that you've been used to attending, because it's usually a talk and some process or a meditation, and then you go on to a Q&A. This one's going to be about learning by way of doing. So I will take you through a couple of small processes and you will see the change right there and then. And in days to come, you will tell me how your life is altered or how those things are not intervening in your life at the moment. So I think that's enough for a background or a foreground for NLP. Let's begin. The first process that I want to take you through is the inner voice. What is inner voice? It's something that we say to ourselves. There is always some kind of conversation that keeps happening in the head, whether it's constructive or destructive, your call. But there's always something happening here. And this reminds me of a story that comes from this beautiful movie called The Tomorrowland. In Tomorrowland, it's the absolute first scene. The father is doing some manual work, and a little girl walks in and says, "Father, I want to ask you something." The father says, "What is it?" She says that, "Father, I have this one thing in the head that feeds me with jealousy, hatred, tells me that I'm not good enough. I will not be able to pass my exams. I'll never do well in life. And there's another side of me that says that I am loving. I will get what I want. My fairy tale will come true. Father, I want to ask you, which one will win?" And guess what the father says? The father says, the one you feed. So if you keep feeding the negative voice, that keeps winning and it stops us from living a full spectrum of life. This inner voice is that of a critic. The moment you want to take a risk in your life, it says, "Rehne de, tujhse nahi ho payega." Forget it. You won't be able to do it. This is the same voice that may tell you, "You are a loser. I am a loser. No, no, this is not fair. I'm a failure. No, I don't think I'll be able to handle this." So, any kind of limitations that get posed in your mind are limitations coming from that internal voice. Now, to your surprise, you may be amazed to know that it may not be your voice at all. It is usually coming from an authority figure in our life somewhere. So, a parent, a teacher, our immediate surroundings in which we've grown up, it could be that person's voice which we've taken over. So, first of all, I want you to think of a particular sentence that you say to yourself. Let me give you another example. I was working with this girl a couple of days ago, and she said that, what I keep saying to myself is, what, I am not performing to my potential. Hence, I will be a failure, but I don't want to fail. So the sentence that we took while working on it was, "I am a failure, but I don't want to fail." Similarly, somebody could say, "Yeah, I'm just a joker. People like me because I joke around stuff." Somebody could say that I am so limited, my destiny never works in my favor. Why I'm giving you these examples is because we have over 100 people here and it'll not be possible for me to check with you if you've got the sentence. So just get any sentence that you say to yourself which is negative and you want to change it. I'll give you, 20 seconds to think of that. Any sentence in any language. This is an important thing. You need not convert it, translate it into English. It's better that you take the language you speak in. So if you say it in Bangla, please take that. If you say it in Hindi, take that. Whatever language you say that sentence is, take it in that language. I'm not good enough. I'm a loser. I will not get anything in life. It always happens with me. I am unwanted. I always get emotionally unavailable men, women, whatever it may be. So I'm going to give you 20 seconds. Think of that. Okay, I'm assuming everybody's got a sentence that they want to work upon. I'm repeating it. This is a sentence that you want to change, something that you don't want to think about. Okay, so you have a sentence in your mind that you wish to change. Imagine that you're reading that in a newspaper. If it helps, all of you, please close your eyes. Imagine you're reading that sentence in a newspaper. After you complete reading, just relax. Do a quick body scan from head to toe. If there is any tension anywhere, just ease yourself. And now I want you to read this sentence as if it's a question mark. In the same newspaper, read it as if it's a question mark. As you complete that, relax your forehead, relax the corner of your eyes. And now let's read this sentence as an exclamation mark. Read it in the newspaper as if it's an exclamation mark. As you complete, relax your body, relax your jawline, relax your shoulders. Now I want you to read this sentence very, very slowly, as slow as possible. Like really, if the sentence is I'm a failure, so you literally go at a pace, I like that, at that pace, as slow as humanly possible. As you complete the sentence as slowly as possible, relax the corners of your mouth, relax your jawline, and now read it as fast as possible. So start, finish at this speed. Start, finish. Relaxing yourself completely, taking a deep breath. Now you imagine you're walking a busy street. Let's say a New York street or a Mumbai street. You're walking a busy street with skyscrapers and loads of bright light all around. And up, literally near the sky, beyond the skyscrapers, you see this big billboard. And that billboard is flashing that sentence time and again. So that sentence is being flashed on the billboard. So it comes and disappears, comes and disappears. So as you look up, you see that sentence is coming on the billboard and disappearing. And then let's see each and every word of your sentence appearing and fading in the background, appearing and fading in the background. So each word comes and goes, comes and goes. And as each word is coming and going, now just see the entire sentence disappearing and appearing again. And disappearing, appearing. And you remember when we were children how that Doordarshan, the news channel, used to see, we used to see this gray screen with a screechy voice. Now imagine the sentence appears and then it disappears, presenting a gray screen with a screechy voice. So in the last bit, we are just seeing the billboard, and on the billboard, the sentence appears and disappears, leaving a gray screen for us with a screechy sound. And as you complete this, just completely relax yourself. If there's any part of the body that's tensed up, invite it to just relax. As soon as you wish, you can come back and open your eyes. Now I want you to think of a situation in future where you've used this sentence in your mind. So any time in the past that you've used this sentence, that same situation, when it gets repeated in the future, imagine the same situation and notice what happens. So imagine yourself in a similar situation where you used to think of that sentence the way you used to. And now, what changes do you notice in the quality of what is said, how it is being said? And if you could have 2, 3 people come up and share before we move on to the next piece, that'll be wonderful. Niket, maybe do that?
Yeah.
Thank
Would anyone
you.
like to share their experience? Yes, Bua, go ahead.
Mute.
Yeah, you.
Yes, hi Jazz. I can't see
Hi.
the video, it's off. I just wanted to share. I thought about the sentence and yes, now I can see you. Then I thought about the sentence, and in between when you said that it's flashing on the billboard, my left eye at the corner was twitching very, very badly. And then I just went with the flow, and then you said, think about the future, will you use it again? I couldn't remember the sentence. I have it written in my journal, but I had to go back to the page and see what I had written. So I thank you so much. I just wanted to share this, but I don't know why the eye twitched very, very badly.
No idea. Could be some kind of release, don't know.
Probably, yes. Okay.
Okay.
I
Thank
think this is
you.
a very good way. Thank you.
Thank you, Bua. Kavita Didi.
Yeah. Hi, Jess. How are you?
Hi, very well, Kavita.
So for me, it was just the opposite. It had just changed. For me, it had just reversed. So the negative became a positive.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really
Amazing.
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Sheetal.
Yeah, hi Jazz.
Hi,
Sheetal here.
Sheetal. Hi.
Okay,
Nice to have you.
yeah, it's amazing because what happened when I thought about the future, the same angst or same agony which I used to feel, I feel it's completely gone. I can just say the sentence without having any effect on me. So thanks.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's have
There's
this
some
one moving ahead.
speciality treatment.
Yeah. Hi, yes. This is Vishal Jain.
Hi, Vishal.
I am in the same group that you guys are. I asked you for the ID today evening only.
Yeah, yeah.
And thank you very much for letting me in. In fact, me and my daughter, we both are listening to you. And it is a very wonderful experience. You know, though this is something which we tried, but I think it is the first time. So we were not able to get the desired result that you were communicating. But I think this will come with practice. This is something, when I was a kid, my elder brother, he used to tell me that put a picture on the wall where you see yourself, what you want to be in future, and keep on looking at it continuously and keep on saying that I want this or I want to be there. And automatically things will fall into place. This whatever you what you are sharing is going to help us get into that league.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
That's the
you.
magic of NLP.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Adhar.
Hey Russ.
Hey.
So I had a weird one because a part of me kind of really bought in, like it brought up a lot of things that kind of just made me really buy into the whole sentence. But I don't know. There was another voice in my head that just went, add a yet to the end of that sentence. To the end of that sentence, and it's going to be. So, for example, if my sentence was I'm not good enough, I add I'm not good enough yet. So that kind of balanced it out to a degree.
Yeah, it collapsed the negative effect. And let's see what happens in the coming days. So keep me posted about what happens.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Adhar.
Let's have Vanya and then we are moving on.
Yeah. Vanya, please go ahead.
Hi, Jas. How are you?
Hi, very well, Vanya.
During the process, when we were supposed to do it quickly, when I was saying it quickly, I just bursted out laughing. I was like, oh, forget it. What is this? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I said I bursted out laughing when you were saying it very quickly.
And that's what changed it for you.
Yeah, that did.
Good.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Jess, I think we can continue.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so good thing to do when you have, when Niket unmutes you, please show us your video as well. I would like to see you when you talk. It makes me feel more energetic when I see the person who's communicating. Okay, let's move on. And this is the bit about anger. A lot of people talk about let's control the anger, let's channel the anger, let's manage the anger. And this bit of talk also for me is a tribute that I pay to one of my NLP teachers who's not in this physical body anymore, Father McHugh, popularly known as Dake. I'm sure few of you know him. And he gave me a different perspective on anger, which I want to share with all of you. If you look at it, everybody is responding to the experiences, not to reality. So what is happening out there when it goes in through the five senses and whatever filters we have here, we are responding to that, what we interpret, not on what has happened. In that sense, if you look at it, we do not have a single globe in which we live in. All of us are carrying our little globes. So we are literally interacting with, at the global level, 7.2 billion globes. Each one is bound to think differently. So when it comes to anger, whether we talk about the Indian philosophy or the Western philosophy, it's seen that anger is one of the basic emotions. Now think about it yourself. If anger is one of the basic emotions, how can anger be so negative? Now it's been an emotion that's been termed as a devil. And hence people don't want to be angry because it doesn't look nice, because I don't want to come across as a negative person. On the contrary, it is a constructive, contacting, and a positive emotion. I'm going to repeat that. It's a constructive, contacting, not separating, contacting, constructive, positive emotion. And you know what's the definition of anger? The definition of anger is I want something that I am not getting and I exert myself to it. That is what anger is. Think about some time in your life when you've been angry. Well, you may not have to go back that long, today, yesterday, day before, and think about it. Where did the real anger spring from? Was it not from the space of, you know what, this is what I want, but the other person is not understanding? If I share a couple of examples from my life, nowadays, all of us being in the situation that we are at home. And at times, I would get angry with my family. Later on, only to realize that what I'm demanding is that I need my space. Because I travel so much, I'm usually not at home. And they're very happy to have me around, but I still have a lot of work to do. And I like to be in this space and create stuff. So whenever I get angry at them, I just sat back and I looked at it and I said, oh, hold on. I am angry because I need my space. So I can tell them that the anger is about this, which is where the anger is handled well. I remember my relationship with who's now an ex, and I used to be angry at him. Why? Because whatever I wanted, he was not giving. Simple as that. I wanted time, I wanted efforts to be put in, and he was not putting that effort. And hence I became angry. So it came out as anger, but behind anger, there was something that I was wanting. As we say in NLP, that every action has a positive intention. The youngsters that I have around me, my cousins, the young coaches that I have, when I get angry with them, all I want to say to them is, you know what, I have done mistakes. You don't do the same mistakes. Please learn from me. Take benefit of my experience. That is what I'm trying to say behind the anger that I'm expressing. So if you look at it, it actually is a source of strength. If we can tap into that source of strength, then we will have it as an emotion that can bring people together rather than separating them. You want to know where that is coming from? Well, it's a no-brainer. It's coming again from the childhood. You remember growing up when you had to behave yourself because you were a good boy, you were a good girl? So if you display any bit of anger, that makes you a bad boy, a bad girl. So you would immediately either be reprimanded or told that good girls don't do that, or good boys don't shout, or whatever it may be. Now you grow up, you have your kids. Remember, it's one of the basic emotions. So natural expression is to throw things down. Natural expression is to scream, to be angry. But there is no expression that is allowed of it. So we have been suppressed by our society, our environment, and in turn, we keep suppressing our children because it's not the way to behave. It's not the way to express yourself. That when they grow up, turns out to be a lot of psychological issues that people like, therapists like me are treating and handling. It all stems from that. The beauty is that if you're able to express anger coming from that positive intention, in other words, if you can set up a context of why the anger, it will just give it a very different direction. It will become a space that the two of you will be creating to express yourself. Remember the time of conflicts that you've had with someone in the past or in school or college, and how that conflict just got dissipated. It just lost the charge the moment you came together and spoke about it. Exactly. That's what anger is. The moment you talk about it, it goes away. Two factors which are very important for anger to be addressed. One is admitting that what I said was wrong. It's okay. I once remember somebody in the field of NLP said that you can either be right or be happy. So choose. And I think it's been an important mantra ever since. Do I want to be right? Do I want to be happy? You may die right, and then you will just be in your righteousness. So it's a good idea to choose happiness, which is just admit whenever you're wrong. And secondly, to be exposed, which when I say to be exposed, what I mean is to be vulnerable. When you can just show yourself as you are, you invite an opportunity to the other person to show up as well. We are all full of judgments and opinions. The moment you let yourself show up truly, the person somehow, remember the mirror neurons, gets the signal. Oh, I can also show up like that because she or he is showing up in this manner. So I am allowed to express myself like that. Therefore, there is no superior ground here. There is no I want to be right. If you just go and express yourself, it kind of just dissipates most of the situations. We will do a very quick exercise in that and a very simple one. I want you to think of a situation where you would usually get angry. It could even be a challenging situation or a growth situation. Probably your boss pushes you to do more, or your partner pushes you to do more, or your parents. Just think about that situation. And I now invite you to ask this. What does my anger want? And I want you to keep exploring. Just inquire and stay with the question. Keep looking at that situation and stay with the question. What does my anger want in real? Okay, I'm going to go over that once again. I want you to think of a situation where you usually get angry. It could be with the children, it could be with your employees, could be with yourself. We have a lot of anger at times for ourselves and not for anybody else external. And I want you to ask yourself that question. What does my anger want in real? Remember I said that anger is something that we want, which we are not getting. So in real, what is my anger trying to communicate? Just stay with that question for a while, and something positive, a positive intention might just spring up. Few of you may even have that eureka moment saying, aha. Okay, let's have 2-3 people share what is the positive intention that they got, what is that their anger really wants.
Yeah, if anyone wants to share, please raise your hand. Yes, Rahul.
Hi.
Hi,
Thank you,
Rahul.
Jaspreet, for a lovely session. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
let me put the video first because you had.
Yeah, say it helps.
Yeah. Yes, it does. So what I got positive about it is the first time the word came in my mind was a peace. And the second word that came in my mind or that cropped up is about love.
Wow. Isn't
Yeah.
that beautiful how anger got transformed into peace and love?
Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you, Rahul.
Karishma.
Yes. Yeah, I got the answer.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, we can
Yeah,
see you now.
hi. I got the answer as for both the questions. Answer came as attention.
Attention from outside or attention from inside? Do you want to attend to yourself or do you want people to attend
From
to you?
inside. From inside.
Yep, that's a lot of information.
Great. Purnima.
Yeah. Hi, Jess. You can hear me?
Hi, Purnima. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I can see you as well. Go on.
Hi. What's that got resolution, change,
Can you bring your mic nearer to your mouth, please? Just get closer to your mic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be
Resolution, change, and peace.
nice.
Did you hear
Resolution,
me?
change, and peace. Yes, we can hear you.
That's right. That's right.
Wow, beautiful.
That's what I meant.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Purnima.
Instantly.
Pradipya, your video.
Hello, yes.
Go ahead.
Hello.
I have a normal problem of when I face anybody misbehaving or lying or doing something wrong, I get angry. So when I don't know what is the right thing, but I want to, forgive him. That is what I can think. But again, they repeat the same thing. Then what should you do? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a big problem of getting it.
Yes. Yes. We'll talk about it. Let 2 more people share and I'll tell you that bit. Thank you for bringing that up, Pradeep. Thank you.
Okay.
Stay here, Pradipya. Batul.
Yes. Hi, Jazz.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can
loud and
hear you.
clear.
I have rebel, then I have scream, then accept, wise, and unique.
Wise and unique.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So it was in a graded fashion for you. Anger became less and then it transformed into something positive. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Last one, Jyoti, before we move ahead.
Yeah. Jyoti.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
मेरे
Jyoti.
मेरे इसमें सॉल्यूशन आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
हाँ जी आ रही है जी बोलिए.
सॉल्यूशन आया है.
I
won't understand कि सॉल्यूशन इन सेंस मुझे ढूंढना या कहीं से आ जाएगा.
Okay. ठीक है
I won't
ज्योति.
understand.
ठीक है. Thank you.
Okay.
So when it comes something like a solution, I would think it's coming to you. So probably you have to look for the solution. Somehow जो लोग यहाँ पे नहीं है वो आपके behalf पे solution सोचेंगे भी नहीं. Remember the 7.2 billion worlds that we are carrying. Each one of us is a different world. So if you are looking for a solution, it actually is a good idea to move towards the solution yourself.
थॉट में आ जाएगा.
आपको उस तरफ कुछ काम करना पड़ेगा, एक्शन लेना पड़ेगा.
Okay.
Thank you. And Pradeep, what you were saying, you know that, so the positive intention that I get behind it is that you want good for those people. And similarly, if you heard the other people share as well, somebody is talking about being wise, somebody is talking about peace. Now, all these are positive and contacting emotions, which were hiding behind the mask of anger. So this is the mask of anger which was being worn, and here is the contacting emotions of being wise, peace, of not wanting people to make mistakes, concern for them, love, whatever it may be. So now there's an invitation for you that each time you're just about to get angry, just take a step back and look at what the context is. What is the positive emotion? So what I want is that I want people to correct themselves. I want them to behave a certain way because it is going to be to their benefit. Now, the moment you change that, suddenly the other person also changes because the resistance drops. People are resisting your anger because the way you're talking, the way you're expressing. If you change that expression, the reaction that you will get from the other side will also change. So this is like saying you're playing a table tennis match. So the way you serve is how you are responded to. If you do a different serving, you will get a different response. Do I make some sense?
Okay. I got it. Let me try. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move ahead quickly to the third part of it. We have one more to cover. I would want to give that bit as well to you. And that is physical pain. I have been hearing from a lot of people that exercise nahi ho rahi hai. We've not been able to stay physically active. There are so many household chores that people are now dividing in the house and working. Long time, hours in front of the laptop, increased mobile screen, all of these things are leading to physical aches in the body. Simple exercise, let's just think of any body aches that you have. Don't think about it, actually, just get in touch with your body and figure out where in your body is there a little bit of a pain, a little ache. It could be a headache. It could be lower back. Could be your arms. My mom's hands are aching a lot because she's doing so many utensils in the kitchen. So if that is also the case with you, or anything. Pick up any physical pain that you have in the body. One bit of advice, I would prefer not to pick up a chronic pain. So if you had a slip disc and all, or you have an arthritis pain, we may require something else to do along with this. So you may not see good results. Just pick up some pain that is new. It has just come today, yesterday, couple of weeks, couple of months. Okay. If it helps, you can close your eyes. It just shuts off the visuals from our senses, and it just helps to connect. Okay, so close your eyes, and I want you to focus all your attention on that part of the body which is aching. Move your attention to that part of the body which is aching, which is paining. I want you to pay closer attention to that and see what is the color of the pain. I know this is a little weird question, but that's all right. Go ahead and imagine if you don't think a color is popping up. So in the body, wherever you're experiencing a pain, just pay attention to what color is it. You can just name it the first color that comes to your mind. Doesn't matter. Now I want you to pay attention to the shape. What shape is your pain in? Is it a triangle, a rectangular, circle, rough edges, smooth, a hexagon, star? I don't know. I want you to get a feeling. Does it feel heavy or does it feel light? Just get a sense of what does it feel. Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? Now think that you have a magic remote, and what that magic remote can do is that it can take out the pain from your body and make it stand in front of you. So if it is a gray colored, dense, heavy ball, imagine that it just comes out of that body part and appears in front of you. As this appears in front of you, I want you to just push it away. So apply some force and push it away. Push it farther away out of the room and make it stand at the main door of your home. Now push it further and further away with your wireless push and let it go far off. You may begin to notice that as the distance between it and you increases, it begins to appear smaller. You may also notice that the color and the shape has changed, which is all right. So just let it go farther and farther away. It goes that far off in the lands of earth that it becomes just a grain of sand. Allow it to move away from you to a part that it goes to a faraway land, becoming part of Mother Earth as a grain of sand. Coming back into the space, you can open your eyes as soon as you wish. And just move your awareness to that part of the body which was earlier aching. And let's have a couple of you share what you experienced.
Yeah, please raise your hands.
Hi Jess.
Hi, Tanisha.
Hi. I can't start my video. Is that fine? There's not enough light.
Okay.
Okay,
Not a
okay,
problem.
yes, that's fine.
I've been experiencing migraines from a lot of time. I think it's been 3 or 4 months now. So and it's towards my left ear. It's more prominent there. So I could see the color blue, and there was not a particular shape to it towards the start. It was just emerging. It was dark in the center and fading away and becoming light. Then later, when you said, you remove it um, from your body and let it out, it wouldn't come out, and that is when it started having sharp edges, and it was not like a uniform shape, but it was like a weird shape with rough edges and sharp edges, and it just wouldn't come out. So I was trying to, come out and then trying to follow your instructions ahead, but it just wouldn't come out. It's, how you like take a slice of pizza and the cheese is still connected. It was something like that.
Okay. So is there some bit of relief that you experienced or nothing at all?
Well, it wasn't paining now, so I don't know if I'm
Okay. We would love to hear what happens to the migraine. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, before we move ahead, I just want to say something here, which is what I said when we began this exercise. Do not take something chronic. So you've been suffering for it for a long period of time. Do not take that. One thing that you can do is that, but if you have the rough edges and it's not coming out, you can just imagine that it's smoothened and then try to pull that out. So in your free time, just try and see if that works for you. Otherwise, for chronic cases, as I said, it has to be coupled with a few other techniques. Let's move ahead.
Yeah. Rajkumar.
Yeah, hello, good evening, Priya, and good evening, Jess.
Good evening.
Very nice listening to
Thank
your
you.
experience and all. I had a wonderful experience now, something very unique actually.
Okay.
And I saw some pain since last few days. The
Sorry,
entire arm is paining. So then
I can't hear you very
I'm
clearly.
experiencing.
She had a shoulder pain.
Okay. Okay.
Shoulder pain.
Yeah, shoulder pain, and my arm is paining actually, my left arm. So then I just tried imagining the pain and giving it a form and giving it a color, and something came like that corona ball, coronavirus kind of a thing. I could find coming out, and then I took it far and further. Like I have a river, near my house over here. So it went far into the river, and I just threw it into the river, But the wonderful thing was, like, I really felt a lot of relief, and I don't feel the pain at all. I'm really surprised. And somehow, like, I would like to relate to one of the meditation techniques also, which I had learned when I was doing the Shri Shri Yoga. So there also they say that you keep on meditating on the pain part, and then the breath. I mean, it's a breathing technique, and the breath heals it actually.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah, got the one you're talking about.
That some similarity in this actually. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bhaiya.
Reena.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Can we have your video?
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So I just wanted to share that I had this terrible pain in my legs today since morning. I was really stressed out since morning. So when you said to imagine the color and the shape was a heart, the color was red, and these words just came to me was just let go. And when you said take it away further, it actually vanished. And what I could see, I don't know if it was myself or someone, I could see it being buried into the earth, it was a beach or sand, I don't know, but being buried there.
Oh, wow. Wow. And how's the pain now?
I don't know if it is exactly disappeared, but I'm feeling wobbly in my legs. So it's wobbly. There is a sensation, a lightness there.
Okay.
Lightness.
Great.
So
Thank you.
I'm assuming the pain will go away. So it
Thank
had
you.
just come in the morning today.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Vandita. Vandita, go ahead.
Thanks.
Vandita, go ahead. Go ahead, Vandita. I'm unmute. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Vandita.
Yeah, so what I experience these days is a lower back pain. And when the instructions proceeded, I imagined a bluish black rectangle. And when you told to take it out of the body and place it in front of you, I imagined it taking a form of a man in that bluish black color. And when you said to push it away, it dispersed into a bunch of butterflies and kind of just went far away. And I think the end result was that the lower back pain significantly reduced, but there was a lot of release from the legs, because I have been experiencing pain in the legs as well. So the legs also experienced relief at the end.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Vandita.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I guess we can go ahead.
Yes. Do you want to say something?
No, it's. I just said go ahead. Next technique.
Okay. Before I move ahead, I have a couple of questions here. Any color or shape is okay? Yes. Whatever is your experience is your reality. We do not question that. NLP says whatever you're experiencing is what it is. So any color, any shape is okay. Why is the color shape important? This is connected with a question which someone's asking, saying which NLP technique is this? This is something which we call as sub-modalities in NLP. Sub-modalities. I'll just write it also for everybody. Now, this is something that brings about a change. That is one of the parts of sub-modalities is the shape, the color, the size, and hence that is why we ask it. It's important. Okay. Okay.
So just I had a question.
Yes,
can this thing come out as a person also, like this? Vandita saw it as a person.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Okay.
See, all of us are into the work of energy as well. So it's at times translates into somebody's energy in you when you are closely interacting, and that comes out because it could be psychosomatic. I'm just guessing. Otherwise, it could be anything really. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. It can be tried anytime you have pain. Of course, you can go ahead and do that anytime. Yes, it is okay to feel drowsy as well. So you can feel drowsy. It's absolutely all right. Your body might just need to relax, and that is one of the signals when you feel wobbly or you feel drowsy. So go ahead and do that. Listen to the body. We become psychological beings. We drink water also. When the alarm goes, have a glass of water. So it's a good idea to come back to the body and ask the body what it needs. Okay, so this brings us to the last section today, and that is the secret. Years and years ago, I'm sure you were part of that wave that started, which made the book Secret very, very powerful. And it was either you were one reading it, or you were one who were told to read it, or you were the one recommending it to people. The wave came in a manner that nobody could ignore that book. It was basically based on, for people who do not know, based on law of attraction. And it spoke about three simple steps to get whatever you want. And those steps was ask, believe, and receive. I also read that book. I was also one of the people who was reading the book and recommending that. And I have been in this field of NLP now for about 11 years plus. And I was wondering that if it is as simple about ask, believe, and receive, why don't people use the simple formula and just get it? So I tried that on. And it worked for some. didn't work for some. And I figured out that there must be something that people are missing out on. So it definitely is a part of the whole, but it's not the complete puzzle that's been given to us. And that's when I realized that there are a couple of things which are important here. And the first thing is, if you have any goal that you want to work for, you have to figure out if that goal is truly yours. And I've had objections come early on when I've spoken to people about that, saying, what are you saying? Of course, this is my goal. Listen on. As we grow up, we are modelers. We do what people do. Mirror neurons. There is a possibility that you picked up a goal that is not yours, but your parents' aspiration, but your best friend in class. And you collapsed that into your own goal. So first and foremost, for any area of life, whatever you may be trying to achieve, whatever you set your eyes on, you got to see, is it my goal? In other words, do I really want it? If the answer is no, don't bother. If the answer is yes, let's move on to the next bit, which is, why do I want it? The why is very, very important. I have to have a compelling why to achieve results. And I'll share a research report with you. You know that most of the middle class people, in terms of the financial wealth, remain at middle class generation after generation. You may have also heard that if somebody who is broke wins a lottery, comes back to being bankrupt within 5 years. And people talk about beliefs, people talk about all these things. I think an essential factor there is also the why. To a child who is below poverty line or just above poverty line, if time and effort is invested in, that person may become upper middle class or a rich person, because his why is very strong. The pain that he's experienced is very, very strong. An example that comes to my mind right now is, if you guys have seen Gully Boy, how the pain that he experienced living in the slums of Mumbai, Dharavi, was so big for him that he had to move out. Similarly, when you want to achieve something, if you have a long list of whys, you are likely to achieve it. If it is, okay, I want this, I want it because I want it, that may not be enough for you to get that. Anything that you want to do, have a list of at least 50 whys, and you will see how your mind will show you things that will take you closer to the goal. The mind, the unconscious mind that we have, that has access to 2 million bits of information in the world. This suddenly opens up as we have a strong why. Second, an equally important a factor is emotions. If you do not have an emotional charge attached to your goals, which is, how do you feel when you pursue it, and how will you feel when you've pursued it? People who are into martial arts, into street fighting, what is the purpose? You will be amazed to see, I've done martial arts myself, so I can tell you that. You'll be amazed to see that most of the people learn martial arts not because they want to fight on the road. Rather, that's not even there in the list of whys. But a stronger why people have, with emotions attached to it, more likely you are to get that particular goal. The third angle, which I thought was missed out in the law of attraction, is mental rehearsal. Now, mental rehearsal is different from visualization. Visualization is that you see it happening. Mental rehearsal is a bit different. This was something which was experimented with Olympics once, and this was a basketball team. So they divided that team into groups, into 4 different groups, and they took them through the mental rehearsal. Now, mental rehearsal involved visualizing each and every step. So starting from getting into the basketball field, to saying hello to the opposition, to coming back to your team members, to doubling of the ball and finally putting it up on the net. Everything was rehearsed mentally as if you're doing it now. When they researched on the results of it, it was found that the group who did 75% of mental rehearsal and 25% of real practice, that is the group that won. And it's a research available online, so you can see that for yourself. This is the power of rehearsing mentally. It is said in NLP that the mind does not know the difference between reality and fantasy. So here, sitting here in the heat of Delhi, if I want, I can imagine and take myself to the land of Goa, where I'm just on the beach and having coconut water and having a good time. It's very easy to fool the mind into thinking and imagining, fantasizing stuff. Now, when you do a mental rehearsal, what happens is your mind begins to form a path to that particular goal. When you do that in real, it just looks familiar to the mind. Anything that is familiar to the mind does not take it as a threat. Therefore, step by step, rehearsal of a particular goal is very, very important. The last thing, nothing gets achieved without it. You may have the why, you may have the emotions attached, and you keep on doing it. But if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. And the best way to do is, as soon as you set up a goal, pick up a why, add an emotional charge to it, do a mental rehearsal, go out and take action. Mind you, the group with 100% mental rehearsal did not win the Olympics. The 75 and 25, they won it. It is not to say that action is less important. Action is equally important, or perhaps more important. You keep having the intention, keep doing the mental rehearsal. You will not get it unless you don't go up and act. Reminds me of a little joke here. Now, this is about God, and one person is complaining to the God and saying that, you know what, you've never given me anything, and now I'm demanding that I have to win a lottery. Couple of months pass by, and one day he's complaining to the God again. I've never even won a lottery. This time also I didn't win a lottery. See, you always do that to me. And finally God appears and says, yes, you will win when you will purchase a lottery ticket. So whatever steps, actions that are required from our side, we have to take that action. Without taking action, we will not get results. And the first bit of action should come within 24 hours of having decided the goal. Not more, within 24 hours. And then keep a check on yourself to keep doing that, keep repeating it again. I will take you through the last exercise of the day, wherein I want you to pick up one goal for yourself. And I will take you through the mental rehearsal. It's for you to figure out whether it's what you really want, what is the why, what are the emotions attached. Actions, of course, is up to you. I will take you through the mental rehearsal so that you can do that in future as well. So think of a goal that you're currently working on, that you want to achieve, or you can take up a new goal, whatever works with you. Our brain is 60% visual. So when I say close your eyes, I'm just closing that 60% so that you don't have outside distractions. So if you wish, you could close your eyes. Now see yourself achieving that goal. So go to that day and time in future when you have achieved that goal. See yourself achieving it, how you're feeling. Taking a step back, looking at what you're doing just before you achieve the goal. Taking another step back. What you're doing just before that. Of course, it doesn't come very easy because the mind is perhaps not used to this way of thinking and visualizing. And slowly keep coming back to the steps that you will take. Coming back to the here and now, the present moment. And let's go this way now. Mentally see yourself doing the actions that are required for you to get those results. See yourself getting up at that time. See yourself dressing up in that manner, talking in that manner. Look at the kind of person that you're becoming if you were to achieve that goal. How is your day planned? How are you keeping yourself orientated towards this particular goal? Think yourself acting out. And living to achieve this goal. Look at the steps that you are taking, the people that you're meeting, the kind of information you're seeking, the network you're building. This is a much longer activity. It usually takes over an hour. I just wanted to give you a glimpse and to tell you how can you do a mental rehearsal yourself. So as you have just few bricks probably laid down towards this path that goes towards the future, you can just come back and open your eyes.
Okay, welcome back. Anyone would like to share?
Yeah, share or questions about any technique, because this is the last bit. We'll be closing after that.
Okay, so I have a question, Jess.
Okay.
Have you actually seen people achieve their goals using this technique?
Yeah, if you look back at when did we win the World Cup? 2013, 2011. The way
I don't remember. I'm not a cricket fan, so.
Yeah, the year we won the World Cup, there was a documentary that was telecasted, which was led by Harsha Bhogle. And he said the primary reason for winning the World Cup was mental rehearsal. So what these guys used to do it, that after their net practice and all, they used to assemble in a boardroom and do this particular practice for over an hour every single day. When you look at that video, you will see that he attributes the success actually to mental rehearsal. Of course, you can imagine, because being national players, they were good in their game, the skills were good. So this is at that level where the proof is if you search online as well. In terms of personal capacity, I used to do this years and years ago. Now I have more of PTSD and anxiety and suicidal tendencies kind of people coming in. So I am not doing this work very actively at the moment, but in the beginning of career, the first 7 years, I've done it with a lot of people and people have seen results. So from the national level to research to the personal level, yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. So we have one person who wants to share. Sargam, please go ahead. I am unmuting you, so just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Jess. Actually,
Hi.
Actually, I want to know more about this techniques because my goal is to become a podium finisher in TMM, that is Tata Mumbai Marathon in half HM. So though this was a goal which I have been keeping it for the last 2 years, but I started running very late, somewhere in 2018, June 2018. So the 2019 I participated, but that time it was the first time I participated. This year also I participated, but I, just before the few days before the event, I had a session, kind of a meditation and all on the sounds, on the color and all kinds with Uday Bhosle. So after that, the very next day, my goal was, that time it was to be a podium finisher, but somehow I just, something happened in my body, that is, like, in the morning I woke up, and then while standing I had a sneezing. Suddenly a sharp pain started in my lower back, and then again I had a sneezing. Then again my body became stiff from the lower back, and it was on Monday. So Friday I was to, I think Saturday I was to travel. So 2-3 days I was in pain and all. Though I then Uday Bhosle told me, my coach, he told me to write it down 50 times. So that so these techniques I use it, but my question is now, how to achieve this goal which I have, though many people say that this is something unachievable right now. It will take 4-5 years or maybe 6 years, but I don't want to wait for that much time. So though my timing was reduced, somehow I managed to participate, in spite of having such kind of pain, lower back and all. Now the question is, this mental rehearsal I was doing 75%, but even the practice also we used to do, we have a proper schedule and in a week. Now despite all these things, what extra thing is required to achieve this goal?
Okay, so a couple of things here that I want to mention, Sargam. Thank you for sharing this bit. First of all, if there are aches and pains in the body suddenly before you're going for something, that's body communication coming in.
Yes.
So we got to be tuned with the body to understand what the body is trying to communicate. Secondly, I would recommend, don't go by what people say. People are speaking from their world, and that will not coincide with your reality. So once you have decided you want to achieve, you have a strong why for it, go ahead and do that. You've been doing mental rehearsal, but it didn't work. I wouldn't know exactly what you were doing. So Niket will share my number, get in touch with me personally, and we'll take this ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sargam.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Anyone else would like to share or say anything?
Or any questions that you have for all the 4 techniques, conversations that we've done? Anything?
Okay, I don't think anyone else is there. Just thank you so much for a lovely session. Really wonderful. And I guess people are taking home something from the session, which is which is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And we will be in touch, and we may see you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here again. Thank you. Bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Tomorrow we have a session on microchakras. Shyamji Bhatnagar is going to be coming in from the US. So it's going to be really fantastic. He's done a lot of work on microchakras. I'll be posting the details on the groups. If anyone is not on the awareness virtual group, I'm putting my number here. Please WhatsApp me, and then you can get onto that group. So thank you, everyone. Lovely having you all with us. Oh, there's one more question, I think. You want to take it?
Sure. Go ahead.
Renuji, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
I want to ask
something regarding anger. What you had said was that it can be very positive, but you know, when a person is angry, at that time too, even I'm a little confused how one could actually make it positive, because you know, okay, you admit you're wrong, but it's much later that you are ready to admit that you're wrong. Much later, once you've really calmed down, you know. But when the person's actually angry, at that time, what is the kind of exercise a person could do to switch oneself from being angry? I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I completely get it. I get it. And thank you. This is a great question. Thank you for bringing this up. Okay. The first thing is that we are not talking about the positivity or the positive thinking here. No, that's not what I mean. I am not a propagator of positive thinking at all. What you feel is what you feel, and that's the reality, period. What I'm saying is that behind the anger, there is something.
It's true. I agree with that.
Yeah. So let that come out. And secondly, how can you allow the anger not to be expressed in the form of a volcano eruption?
Yeah.
When you build in a pause. The moment you have pauses built in your life, just taking a step back and reflecting, you will have other options popping. Because with anger, what happens is the brain becomes differently, the breath becomes short, the body becomes stiff, and you're out there with rage, wanting to take revenge of the wrong that's done to you. Now, if you just relax your body, take a deep breath, pause, and see the situation. You know, remember we used to, our elders used to tell us, sleep over a problem. You know, right now you're very angry. Let's talk about it later on. Those were the techniques without knowing NLP, people used to do that naturally. So we just have to bring back the older people's wisdom into our lives, and we'll be able to build that thinking time, and then we would respond to people rather than reacting.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes I'm talking of children. Children will, like my grandchildren also, would sometimes just lose it. You know, they're angry about something. How do you help them? How can you help a child when, you know,
I get your question. I don't have a grandchild, but I get your question. And to my circle, people who know me, I'm known as a politically incorrect person. So I'll say something politically incorrect here as well, which is let them express.
Okay.
Let them express.
Right. Okay.
Because if you allow them to express their anger, that will also be a permission to express their joy and creativity fully. You and I are adults. How many experiences, how many emotions do we really experience over a week, over a month? If you see that, the spectrum is pretty narrow. Because all the way along, we've not been allowed to experience. You're not permitted to be angry. You're not permitted to be upset. You're not permitted to cry. You're not permitted to be to be happy and laughing. But
absolutely true.
You know, I have a laugh that's pretty loud, and I've been told by people, "My goodness, look at you! How you laugh? You're not a child anymore." I'm like, okay, fine. You go to spiritual courses, and they want you to be a child again, and then you grow up, be an adult, only to go back to being a child.
How well you put it.
I mean, can you imagine what a crazy world we live in?
True, so true. So
yeah,
true.
You bring up the child with psychological issues, take them to a psychologist. People like me are earning, put them through medicines, and then you tell them, you know what, relax, play a little, go out, sit in the sun, don't do anything. Precisely, that's what kids have been doing very well. So allow them to make that hala, allow them to be angry. They'll turn out to be healthy adults. I can bet on that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Really nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Renuji. Thank you, Jess.
Thank Thanks,
And
Shrinakesh.
we'll be in touch. Thank you again, once again.
Bye.
From the
Good night, everyone.
Bye. Good night, everyone. See you all tomorrow.